is 1914. Imagine a world on the edge of change. Europe, a patchwork of empires and kingdoms, buzzed with new inventions. Cars, telephones and airplanes promised progress, but beneath the surface, tensions simmered. Old rivalries and new anxieties festered, waiting for a spark. Nations flexed their military muscles, boasting of powerful armies and new weapons of war. The great powers of Europe were entangled in a complex web of alliances. Germany, Austria, Hungary and Italy formed the Triple Alliance. Facing them were France, Russia and Great Britain, linked in the Triple Entente. These alliances, meant to deter aggression, would prove to be a dangerous game. A single misstep could drag all of Europe into war. Nationalism, a potent force, surged through the hearts of people. They believed in the superiority of their own nations, fueling suspicion and rivalry. In the Balkans, a region simmering with ethnic tensions, a Serbian nationalist assassinated Archduke Franz Ferdinand, heir to the Austro-Hungarian throne. This act, a spark in a tinderbox, ignited the Great War. Austria-Hungary, blaming Serbia for the assassination, declared war. The carefully crafted system of alliances crumbled like a house of cards. Germany, bound by treaty to Austria-Hungary, declared war on Russia and its ally, France. When Germany invaded neutral Belgium to attack France, Great Britain declared war on Germany. The world watched in disbelief as Europe plunged into war. Most believed it would be a short, decisive conflict. They were tragically wrong. The Great War, as it came to be known, would last 4 long years and claim millions of lives. It would reshape the map of Europe and leave an indelible mark on the 20th century. The war in the West quickly bogged down into a brutal stalemate. Germany's advance through Belgium and France was halted at the First Battle of the Marne. Both sides dug in, creating a vast network of trenches that stretched from the North Sea to Switzerland. Life in the trenches was a horrific experience. Soldiers faced constant shelling, machine gun fire, and the ever-present threat of sniper attacks. Disease was rampant, and the trenches themselves were muddy, rat-infested nightmares. The Eastern Front, stretching across vast distances, was marked by greater mobility, but no less brutality. The Russian army, though vast, was poorly equipped and suffered heavy losses against the German and Austro-Hungarian forces. One of the most significant battles on the Eastern Front was the Battle of Tannenberg in 1914, a decisive German victory that shattered Russia's hopes for a quick victory. The war on the Eastern Front had a devastating impact on civilian populations, with widespread displacement, famine, and atrocities committed against civilians. Section 5. Global conflict. While the main theatres of war raged in Europe, World War I was truly a global conflict. Battles were fought in Africa, the Middle East, and Asia. The Ottoman Empire, allied with Germany and Austria-Hungary, fought against the British and French in the Middle East. Japan, allied with Britain, seized German colonies in China and the Pacific. The United States, initially neutral, entered the war on the side of the Allies in 1917, tipping the balance of power. Section 6. The Home Front. The war transformed life on the home front. Governments mobilized their economies for war production, leading to rationing, shortages, and the widespread employment of women in factories and shipyards. Propaganda posters urged citizens to support the war effort and demonize the enemy. The war also led to social and political upheaval. In Russia, the Tsar was overthrown in the 1917 revolution, leading to the creation of the Soviet Union. The war's end saw the collapse of empires and the redrawing of national boundaries. Section 7. Stories from the trenches. The human cost of the war is almost unimaginable. Millions of soldiers perished in the trenches, victims of machine guns, artillery bombardment, and poison gas. Countless others were wounded, many suffering life-altering injuries. The war left an entire generation scarred, physically and emotionally. One such story is that of Wilfred Owen, a British officer and poet who served on the Western Front. Owen's poetry vividly captures the horrors of trench warfare, the camaraderie between soldiers, and the disillusionment felt by many. His poems, such as Dulci et decorum est, remain some of the most powerful indictments of war ever written. Section 8. The Armistice and its Aftermath. By 1918, all sides were exhausted. Germany, facing defeat, signed an armistice with the Allies on November 11, 1918. The guns fell silent on the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month. The Treaty of Versailles, signed in 1919, officially ended the war but sowed the seeds for future conflict. Germany was forced to accept blame for the war and pay heavy reparations, creating resentment and economic hardship that contributed to the rise of extremism in the years that followed. Section 9. The War to End All Wars. World War I was a watershed moment in human history. It shattered empires, redrew national boundaries, and led to profound social, political, and technological changes. The war's legacy continues to shape the world we live in today. The Great War, as it was known at the time, was a conflict of unprecedented scale and brutality. It was a war that few wanted, but one that forever changed the course of history. Despite the hopes of many, it was not, as some called it, the war to end all wars. Its legacy would continue to haunt the 20th century and beyond.